I told you yesterday you was gonna pay me for my pain. I told you yesterday you was gonna pay me for my pain. See, you the type of person, you ain't used to having nobody around you to meet you where you at, all right? I'm equally as crazy, I'm equally mentally and emotionally unstable as you are. All of this was supposed to be put to bed yesterday.
Storm Monroe just lit up Tamar Braxton for pulling what he's calling a messy setup on Funky Dineva. And baby, this one is wild. Tamar is back at it again with the chaos, and this time, Funky got dragged right into her storm. The headline blowing up everywhere? Storm Monroe himself gagging Tamar, saying she staged one of the sloppiest PR stunts we've seen in a long time. Here's the tea. Last week, Tamar had the internet shook after posting a cryptic message about almost losing her life. She claimed she woke up in a pool of blood, nose busted, teeth missing, and her entire outlook on life forever changed. Fans instantly went into panic mode, flooding her page with prayers while her sisters' names got dragged across every comment section. The blogs? Oh, they had a field day with it. But here's the messy part. Funky Dineva ended up being the one everybody pointed fingers at. Why? Because he was the last one spotted hanging with Tamar that night. They were out drinking, laughing, looking like old friends catching up. Then, out of nowhere, Tamar drops that shocking post and vanishes offline for days. In that silence, Funky's name got chewed up. People accused him of everything under the sun, spiking her drink, putting hands on her, or even setting her up with one of his own people. Tamar kept quiet while Funky's reputation got dragged through the mud like a Lifetime movie villain. Fast forward a week and Tamar pops back out like nothing ever happened. Smiling, dancing, looking flawless in a shiny new music video promo. Face intact, teeth sparkling, not a scratch in sight. No blood, no hospital gown, no near-death aftermath. Just promo for her brand new EP. And who's right there beside her in that video? None other than Funky Dineva himself. Now tell me that ain't messy. Of course, Funky was heated. He jumped on Instagram and let it be known he felt straight up used. While Tamar sat back quiet, milking sympathy and letting rumors swirl, Funky was getting dragged across the internet like he was guilty of something. He said it himself. He was collateral damage in a 2-bit PR stunt. Those were his exact words, and honestly, it's hard to argue with him.
Quinta Siegel said that she missing 4 teeth or not. I don't know. What I heard, I caught a little bit of Michelle ATLian's live. And what Michelle said is that allegedly Tamar had somebody drive her from Atlanta to Miami. She got her teeth done and she came right back.
And then here comes Storm Monroe crashing through the drama like a wrecking ball. If you know Storm, you know he's been building his YouTube empire on one thing, never backing down from the truth. He saw the stunt, saw Funky taking the fall, and went all in. Storm dragged the situation with zero mercy, calling it out for what it really was: betrayal. Because let's be real, who sets up a so-called friend like that? Who lets someone you call fam get roasted by the whole internet just to make your music roll out look spicier? And that right there is the setup. Tamar wanted eyeballs on her new project, but instead she created a whole circus that left Funky blindsided and Storm Monroe tearing into her. The real question is this just another wild chapter in Tamar's endless saga of antics? Or did she finally trip over her own game this time? Storm didn't hesitate. He broke it all down plain and raw. According to Storm, Tamar wasn't just being messy, she was flat out wrong. First, he zeroed in on that cryptic, "I almost died" post. No context, no details, just heavy drama. Storm said when you post something like that, you're not just asking for prayers, you're basically summoning chaos. Fans panicked, blogs exploded, and since Funky was the last one seen with her, all roads led straight to him. Storm didn't sugarcoat it. He said Tamar's silence wasn't mysterious, it was reckless. Then he hit her harder, pointing out the real betrayal. She never stepped up to protect Funky when the internet was ripping him apart. Friendship means defending someone's name when it's on the chopping block. One simple post like, "Funky didn't harm me," could have shut the whole storm down. But instead, she left him dangling in the wind while people dragged his name through the dirt. And child, Storm didn't stop there. He dragged the rollout too. Tamar let the story simmer for days, had the whole internet crying and praying, then suddenly pops back out. Flawless face, perfect teeth, all smiles, dropping a slick new video with Funky standing right there. Storm called it for what it looked like, not a near-death scare, but a staged PR stunt. The kind of stunt that might stir curiosity for an EP, but at the cost of torching a friend's reputation. Storm even clocked her bigger pattern. This isn't new. He told his viewers Tamar loves to play peekaboo with the truth. Instead of clearing chaos, she feeds it, dances around it, and lets the drama fuel her rollouts. And this time, she let Funky be the pawn in the game. Half answers, cryptic captions, breadcrumb trails that lead nowhere. That's Tamar's favorite playbook. And while it might spark flashy headlines, Storm Monroe warned it comes with a heavy price. Trust. Fans stop believing you, friends stop defending you, and what looks like mystique online starts feeling like straight-up manipulation in real life. Storm's final dagger cut deep. Perception. He said in music, Tamar's mystery might sell records, but in friendships, that same vibe makes you toxic. Funky has built his whole brand on blunt honesty, no sugarcoating. Tamar, on the other hand, built hers on spectacle and drama. Storm made it crystal clear. Those two worlds were destined to clash, and when they did, Funky was the one left catching bullets for her antics. His bottom line couldn't have been clearer. Tamar blurred the line between loyalty and theatrics. Instead of protecting her friend, she let him burn while she polished her rollout. Instead of honesty, she picked spectacle. And instead of controlling the narrative like she thought, she lost control completely.
Only thing I was looking for was some level of acknowledgement from her that I had did nothing to her and that I had no parts of what she had going on. All right? Now, I ain't no damn fool. We had to twist, move, bend her arm, and get an act of Congress for her to post a little post. And the post read something to the effect of, no matter what he says, I love Funky Dineva, and if I would have known what was going on while I was recovering, I would have said something.
And let's be real, this ain't Tamar's first messy stunt. Please. She's got a whole resume of attention-grabbing drama that could fill up a BET docuseries. From explosive feuds to shocking headlines, Tamar has made chaos her second language. This situation with Funky and Storm, it's just another chapter in a pattern we've been watching for years. And now, we gotta rewind the receipts. Tamar's been stamped since Braxton Family Values days as the sister who lived off being extra. Tony's the legend, Tracy, R.I.P., was the raw one, but Tamar? She was the drama magnet every season. She'd argue, cry, storm out the room, then waltz back in like nothing ever happened. Fans loved the theatrics, but even her own sisters used to say straight up, Tamar thrives on being the center of attention. Even Tony once admitted, we spoiled her. And honestly, you can see it. When Tamar's music career started slowing down, the antics only got louder. Remember those cryptic hospital selfies? Sis would post herself hooked up to IVs, asking for prayers. But when fans begged for answers, she'd clap back with, mind your business. Same exact playbook she's running now. Shock the people, stay vague, let speculation explode. And when it comes to falling out with folks, Tamar's got a rap sheet long enough to fill a whole group chat. Candy Burris has said she was a nightmare to work with. Producers, background singers, even stylists. She's had beef with them all, and let's not forget the fresh rounds of shade toward her sisters, even after they all supposedly worked things out in family therapy. Her pattern is crystal clear. Tamar knows drama keeps people talking, and talking keeps her relevant. Compare that to Funky Dineva, and you see the difference. Now, Q is no angel. Let's be real. He built a whole empire off dragging celebs to filth, wig sliding and all. But here's the catch, Funky owns his mess. He's blunt, he's shady, but he doesn't play hide and seek behind mystery. What you see is what you get, and that's why folks still ride for him. When Funky speaks, you know exactly where he stands. No guessing, no riddles, just blunt honesty. That's why this whole mess cuts so deep. His name was dragged through the mud, painted as violent, while the one person who actually knew the truth, Tamar, sat there in silence. For a man who built his entire brand on speaking up, being forced into silence while rumors ran wild was straight torture. People forget, Funky and Tamar actually had a friendship that stretched back years. She'd been on his show, he'd defended her when others came for her, and behind all the jokes, there was real loyalty there. So when Tamar's silence left room for people to assume he hurt her, That was deeper than any clapback could fix. Funky's whole brand has always been about being messy on his own terms. Wig sliding, drink in hand, but never tearing down a true friend to build himself up. And that's why this hit different. It wasn't just trolls or strangers dragging him. It was Tamar's silence that gave the dragging power. In Funky's eyes, she didn't just let the streets come for him, she practically handed them the plate. To make it sting even more, the timing was brutal. Funky had just celebrated his birthday when Tamar dropped her cryptic "I almost died" story. Instead of celebrating, he spent the whole weekend dodging accusations, trying to clear his name for something that never even happened. Imagine that, your birthday turning into an interrogation, all because your so-called friend refused to step in and shut the lies down. That irony wasn't lost on Funky, and it's exactly what fueled his rage when he finally clapped back online. Fans noticed the shift too. Normally, Funky's the one accused of stirring the pot for clicks, but this time, he was sitting on receipts, looking hurt instead of shady. For once, the dynamic flipped. Funky came off like the victim, while Tamar wore the villain crown. And let's not act brand new like Tamar invented this messy PR hustle. Please, celebs have been pulling wild stunts and dragging other folks into the flames since forever. Tamar's just the latest to get caught playing with fire. Take Jussie Smollett, for example. Remember when he claimed he was attacked in Chicago? The whole world lit up. Outrage everywhere, celebs rushing to his defense, and the media running wall-to-wall coverage. But once the cracks started showing, the story flipped, and suddenly he was accused of staging it all. Collateral damage? The people who vouched for him, Taraji, Lee Daniels, half of Hollywood, all had to eat crow for riding so hard before the truth unraveled. That's the same kind of heat Funky felt, stuck in the middle of a friend's messy headline with zero control over the fallout. Or look at Blac Chyna back in her wilder days. Sis stayed dropping hospital selfies and cryptic "pray for me" posts that magically lined up with a new product launch or OnlyFans drop. It worked for clicks, but it always left somebody else taking stray shots. Rob, Tokyo, Tyga, somebody always got dragged while Chyna cashed in. Tamar's bloody floor story feels straight out of that same recycled playbook. Shock the crowd, stay vague, let people run wild, then flip it into promo. Even Kanye West has mastered that formula. Every album rollout comes wrapped in chaos, scandal, or some bizarre spectacle.
You don't give a f. And my thing about people like Tamar, I would respect her more if she was a mother and just say, I really don't give a f about you. I ain't clearing up shit because I ain't got to. I would respect that more than I'm in mommy mode, I'm healing, I am damn near dead. You ain't that fuck. Allegedly, they rearranged your face, them hands still work. You got a publicist and a manager.
And now Tamar's move just looks like another messy page from the same old manual. Feuds with Jay-Z, beef with Pete Davidson, rants about Kim K. Every time the albums just happened to drop right in the middle of the storm, fans eventually caught on. The drama wasn't random at all, it was rollout. But the folks in Kanye's crossfire, Taylor Swift, Wiz Khalifa, Amber Rose, they were the ones left trying to patch up their reputations after being scorched under his spotlight. And Funky Dineva's situation, it fits the same script. And let's be real, Storm Monroe stepping into this mess ain't shocking either. He's part of a long line of commentators who built platforms by holding celebs accountable even when it costs them. Wendy Williams did it on daytime TV, Charlamagne Tha God does it every morning on radio, and Tasha K, well, she's done it on YouTube, sometimes way too far. They all caught heat for being harsh, but they also set the standard. If you pull a messy stunt that burns people around you, someone is gonna call it out. Storm saw Tamar's play, clocked it immediately, and decided to say the quiet part out loud. So no, Tamar ain't the first to pull a PR stunt that backfired, Funky ain't the first to end up collateral damage, and Storm ain't the first voice to yell, "Enough is enough." But when you throw all three together, you get the perfect storm: gossip, betrayal, and receipts that feel all too familiar in celebrity culture. The bigger question now, will Tamar's legacy be remembered for her undeniable voice, or for the stunts that always seem to overshadow it? Because history proves one thing. Once people start branding you as the drama, it's almost impossible to convince them you're the victim. And right after Funky aired her out and Storm doubled down, Tamar slid back on socials with that classic Braxton mix of shade and victimhood. She posted, "No matter what he says, I love Funky anyway." Had I known what was going on while I was in the hospital trying to recover, I would have said something. Tamar flipped it into love and excuses, but fans weren't buying it. "It's terrible that whatever I didn't say turned into all this. I just want peace." Those were Tamar's exact words, but the internet wasn't buying a single syllable. Fans dragged the timing, pointing out her statement just happened to drop right after Funky's clapback went viral. To them, it didn't read as heartfelt, it screamed cleanup. And the biggest issue? She still never gave Funky a straight-up apology. No clear defense of his name, no simple "he didn't hurt me," just vague lines about love, peace, and misunderstandings. For someone accused of throwing a friend under the bus, that silence on the specifics was louder than anything else. Funky wasn't buying it either, but his first reaction showed exactly what he'd been asking for from the jump: principle. He said, "This was all I wanted. It was the principle of the whole situation. I'm not one of them other punks, and I won't be toyed with like I'm one of them or be treated disposable like I'm one of them. It's done. I'm all good." Now, Tamar Braxton, I pray you recover quickly, and I hope the new project spawns nothing but hits after this. But don't get it twisted. That wasn't forgiveness. That was closure. Funky made it clear the line had been crossed, and his words sounded more like a declaration of war than a peace treaty. Tamar may have hoped to spin the mess back into promo, but Funky's done playing games. And from here on out, things between them are only about to get crazier. So hit that subscribe, like, share, and drop a comment below, because you know this drama ain't stopping here and you don't want to miss the next twist.